Today I'm going to talk about integrated treatment, and that's treatment for those who are simultaneously coping with mental health issues and addiction. Now, previously I shared some clinical information and my personal observations on the similarities of substance abuse and mental health issues. Now, clinical studies have shown that one issue can lead to the other and that both afflictions can occur simultaneously. Coping with each problem individually has its difficulties. So I decided to take a look at the treatments for both. And I had some questions. And one of the questions I had was, is one treated first? And if so, which one? And I found that neither condition should be treated first. They must be treated together, and that's known as integrated treatment. Substance use intensifies or even creates mental health symptoms. Trying to treat one while ignoring the other is like trying to fix a leaking roof while rain is still pouring in. Another question I had was, is there a case where one has to be prioritized? There is prioritization for substance abuse who has a mental health issue and is experiencing severe withdrawal or a medical danger like an overdose. In this situation, stabilizing the body comes first using detoxification methods such as administering Narcan, which neutralizes the effect of an overdose, followed by monitoring the person medically. Now, this isn't treating the addiction first, it's preventing harm so the treatment of the mental health issue can take place. Now, there are some other questions that I had, and the answer that I found were found on the website, and it's called Psychology Today. And I'm going to post a link to that website in the comments section. Now, another question I had was, can someone cope with mental health issues and addiction? And what I found was that many people in Chicago and across the US experience these conditions together. And understanding their connection is a key step toward effective recovery. Mental health disorders and addiction often share overlapping brain pathways, which increases vulnerability to both. Now, nearly 38% of adults with substance use disorders also have mental health conditions, and about 18% of adults with mental health illness also struggle with substance use. Now, according to a Dr. James Flowers, who is the co founder of the J. Flowers Health Institute and a leading health innovator and advocate for holistic wellness. And you can find more. I'm just going to read a little bit from his article, but you can find the complete article on the Psychology Today website that I mentioned earlier. But according to Dr. Flowers, mental health and addiction often affects the same areas of the brain. Chemicals in the brain like dopamine and serotonin, which help regulate our mood and emotions, can influence both mental health issues and addiction. When these chemicals become imbalanced, it can change how the brain processes rewards, increasing the likelihood of developing an addiction. Dr. Flowers also stated that as we've gained more knowledge about how the brain functions, doctors and experts have been able to develop a more effective treatment. And this includes preventing addiction by addressing factors that can be changed in a person's life using medications to support recovery. Now, by understanding how the brain influences both mental health and addiction, healthcare providers can offer treatments that's more personalized and effective for each individual. And finally, Dr. Flowers says enhancing overall mental health is crucial for tackling the underlying factors that often contribute to substance misuse in the first place. Another question I had was, what does integrated treatment look like? An integrated treatment is therapy that addresses both trauma, mental health, and substance use by administering medications that support mood stabilization and reduces cravings. Also, by introducing skills trainings for emotional regulations like stress and relapse prevention. Integrated treatment should also include lifestyle interventions that involves things like proper sleep, proper nutrition, and proper exercise, which will support both conditions. An integrated treatment should also include the development of spiritual or value based practices that strengthen the identity and one's purpose. Another question I had was, how can someone build their own integrated recovery framework? Now, recovery becomes more effective when a person understands first their mental health patterns. And that means what triggers them, what their symptoms look like, and how they respond to stress. They also need to understand their addiction patterns, their cravings, what triggers them, the rituals, the emotional drivers. Emotional drivers can be external and they can be psychological. And rituals are just like a person that has, like me, for instance, the ritual for me daily was getting up, finding drugs, using drugs. That was a ritual. And that became a habit. So understanding things like those help you create a map of the terrain of which you're navigating. And without that map, people end up just fighting shadows or they just end up going in circles. A successful integrated recovery requires building a mental health stabilization plan. Now, what is that? Well, it's a plan that helps one focus on strengthening the mind so it doesn't collapse under stress. Now, of course, things like therapy and counseling are helpful, but during my recovery, I found that daily emotional regulation practices like journaling, uh, being mindful, breathing exercises, along with those spiritual values that I mentioned, help get me grounded. And today, they help keep me grounded. Successful addiction recovery isn't just about overcoming substance use. It's about addressing the emotional and psychological challenges that drive it. By recognizing the powerful link between the mental health and addiction, we can craft treatment approaches that offer lasting changes and not just temporary fixes. For those who would like to purchase copies of the books, the purchasing information will be included at the end of this video. Also, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. In the next one, I'm going to talk about mental health patterns and addiction patterns. I'm going to talk about similarities and some differences. Again, thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to contact me, there will be an email address and my social media pages included in that flyer where you can find information on how to purchase the books. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time on another episode of Overcoming Addiction. If you or someone you know is dealing with substance abuse or any form of abuse, check out my YouTube channel. I've also written 2 books that provide tips and strategies to help overcome abuse. The first is titled The Effective Use of Spiritual Tools. This book serves as an instruction manual, guiding readers on how to use the tools I've provided or create their own to overcome substance abuse. The second is titled The Pressures of Addiction Finding a Way Out. It shares many of the challenges I faced and overcame during my journey to recovery. If you're wondering what inspired me to become an author, check out the interactive link leading to this June 2025 article featured in the She Publishing Company's BNB magazine.